morning, y'all. I wanted to do a video about perks and talk a little bit about them from a player's perspective. So perks are right here. So under clubs, they're right here. What they are is they are club enhancers. So if you look at this, like the rocket perk here, it adds +7 to your power, +20 to your backspin, and it takes 20 off your top spin. Not every perk has a negative, but a lot of them do. So, oops. So what they're really for is to help make your clubs better. So let's look at how to equip a perk. So you can only equip perks for clubs that are in the current bag. So if I want to equip a perk for the Guardian, like say the Guardian Waypoint perk, I just click on it and I hit equip. And it'll look like this. You'll have the perk listed up here, and you'll have the Guardian down here, and it'll have the little blue around the club level. Now, if I look at the club, I can see this extra line here for backspin and the extra for ball guide, and I can see the negative on the curl. Now, if I go to another bag and I equip the Guardian, it doesn't have the perk on there. So it only affects the bag that the perk is equipped in. How do I unequip? I go back in here, I find my perk, and I hit unequip. And now I'm back to normal. One way to equip perks quickly is just click this button up top that says equipped clubs. And these are all the perks that are available for the clubs that are in that bag. What are they good for? What are the uses of perks? A lot of times perks are being used in guides. Now let's go back to our Guardian Waypoint perk. So you see this perk gives us extra backspin and an extra ball guide. So in the most recent QR guide by Tommy, there was a couple shots that used the Guardian Waypoint perk. And the reason for that was it gave us the extra backspin, and then it gave us the longer ball guide so we could see better where that ball was going. You could take the shot without the perk, but it wouldn't look the same as the guide. Sometimes you can't take the shot without the perk because you need the extra backspin or whichever. So that is something to consider. With perks, right now, do not upgrade your perks. All the guide makers are using level 1 perks. So if you were to upgrade that perk, like this one's upgradable, as you can see, it would add 0.2 to the ball guide, and it would add +5 to that curl, from what it takes away from the curl. So this one, may not be that big of a deal to upgrade, but you really don't want to do that. Let's look at one that's affected pretty heavily. If we go down here to the Grim Reaper Deadeye, as you can see, I accidentally upgraded that perk. So what it did was it added +20 to the accuracy, and it added 0.6 to the ball guide. Well, here's the problem with that. Now, if they use that Grim Reaper level 1 perk in the guide, the accuracy is going to be different on this perk than it is on the level 1. And so the table numbers in the guide for the level 1 perk adjustment aren't going to work with this upgraded perk because the accuracy has changed. So the numbers won't be the same. So this was a mistake. I didn't mean to upgrade it, but I accidentally did. So I would have to figure out the adjustment on my own for that. Some of the perks that are really important, and let's say let's get our extra mile in the bag here. The extra mile legendary perk, okay, the Pioneer here. So this gives us 7 yards of extra power, 0.4 extra ball guide, and plus 10 extra top spin, and it takes away all the curl. So if I equip this, and let's say I'm taking a shot with the APOC, but I'm using no curl on the shot, just max OP. If I switch to this extra mile Pioneer legendary perk with for the drive, then it'll slow the needle down quite a bit. And also I'll have that extra top spin. The nice thing about it is, if the APOC's at plus 16, and this perk drops, the extra mile down, the needle speed slows down quite a bit, and then it's easier to hit perfect. So that is a highly sought after perk. Hard to find. Some accounts get it right away. Some accounts take forever. I have 2 accounts that have it, and one account I've opened 300 chests and never got it. You can also use perks in tour play. So if you were, grinding, let's say, a hard level in T13, where it takes away the driver top spin, you could go in there and use your Thor's hammer and there's not a perk for the Thor's hammer. You could use the rock, and as we can see, the rock has overdrive, which gives us plus 20 top spin. And so that would give us some of that top spin that gets taken away by playing the hard level. The Rock Cyclone gives us plus 5 to power, plus 35 to curl, plus 20 to top spin. But its negative is all short irons lose 35 accuracy. So if we look at what this does to the club itself, it jumps curl to 133, which is more curl than any club in game. It gives us 0.75 top spin, which is quite a bit more than it had. And then it increases our power or our distance to 237. So, this is another legendary perk. The legendary perks are hard to get. Your common perks are the most common, and then you have your rare perks, your epic perks, and your legendary perks. This account has all the perks, other accounts I have don't quite have them all. But as you can see, there's lots, there's different clubs. Some clubs we never use, This is a perk we use sometimes here, the Big Topper Fast Line. Adds the extra top spin in the ball guide. I'd say the most common perks used right now are the most common perks used right now: Extra Mile Pioneer, Big Topper, Guardian, Grim Reaper, Tsunami, the Goliath we've used once, Kingfisher we've used, Falcon. I don't remember if we've used that yet. Yeah, that's pretty much all the ones we've used so far in the guides. It doesn't mean we won't use the rest later. It's just those are the ones that we've used so far the most. So not every perk is getting used right now in the guides, but they are there. From a player's perspective, the perks are good because they make the shot, easier to their added bonuses make the shot easier, like the ball guide extension or extra backspin, stuff like that. In tour play, obviously you have the bonuses, to driver or to, the wood or long iron. But what you have to take in consideration is the negatives, because you may be increasing, your guardian there, but you're taking off of the curl, or you may be increasing the sniper, but you're losing power and you're losing backspin. You may be increasing the Grim Reaper ball guide and the Grim Reaper power, but all of your woods in the bag lose 15 accuracy. So there's positives and negatives. You kind of got to weigh those as you're applying those perks and using them, whether in tour play. On the guides, they have already taken those into account when they've decided to play a perk. So if the guide has an option to play a perk and you have the perk, I would suggest trying it out and using it. A lot of times they'll give you an option to play it without a perk. But there's nothing wrong with trying them out. They're not that scary. And as you can see, you can add them and subtract them. And if you add them to one bag, they don't go in the other bag. So like sometimes, let's say you want to set up, they ask you to set up with the Extra Mile, right? But but they want you to take the shot with the Extra Mile Pioneer. Now notice this gives us extra power, 7 yards, right? But we want to set up with the regular one at its regular yardage. So we can have it in separate bags. We can go into this bag, set up at the exact spot with this Extra Mile. Then we can swap to this bag to set our spins or take our shot. So, perks aren't, they're not universal across every bag, and you can, have the same club in multiple bags. So, there's always a way to make it work. Where do you get your perks or your keys for your perks? So, right now you can get your perks, your perk keys, in tour play. You can get them through tournaments. You can get them through CWT. And I will give you this advice: never open anything but the deluxe perk vault. The reason being is this vault doesn't have the option to get the legendary perks, and that's what you're really after. So to open one, you just click on it and you click on the key and it gives you a chest. And then it tells you what all's in the chest there, just like a normal chest. So I already have all the perks on this account, so it doesn't really. A lot of times I don't even open them for a while because I'm not upgrading the perks, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I wanted to just see if I got a legendary to show you, and I didn't. Legendaries are hard to get. One of my accounts only has 2 legendary perks, and they're not the good ones. So this account was fortunate enough it got all the perks pretty quickly. But perks are a good thing. They help out in tour play. They help out in tournaments. There's nothing to be worried about them. Just remember to unselect them after you've used them. That way you don't accidentally go back into that bag later and have a perk equipped you're not ready for. So what I do is I go in to my bag, I set up the perk I'm using, and you can do multiple perks. I can go down here and do my Guardian Waypoint perk, and I could go in here and do my Goliath Fast Line perk. Now, what happens is, see here where it's going to take all my driver accuracy minus 35. So, and at this point, I can't use both. I don't know why. I've never seen that happen before. But that's good to know. I thought you could equip all of them like that. Let's see, what else do I got? If I can do 3 perks. I've never tried this, so this is new to me. Thorn. Oh, yep. So the thorn, I can't have the thorn with the extra mile pioneer. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to look into that a little more and see why. But the perks again are a good thing. So it's nothing to be scared of, nothing to be worried about. Try them out. Try them out in tour play. Try them out in a tournament. See what you think, and give them a go. And I hope this video is helpful for you. Have a good day, y'all.